Thank you, Joyce. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Thank you. I appreciate you joining me today to salute a godly man, a noble statesman, the son of sharecroppers who went from the Maryland House of Delegates to go on to the U.S. Congress. Today, we celebrate and give tribute to the Honorable Elijah E. Cummings, the America's North Star of hope, equality, and civility. He's done a lot in his life, but most notably, I draw your attention to the fact that the people of Baltimore elected him to the U.S. House of Representatives. And that was in 1996. And from 1996 until his untimely passing in 2019, just recently in October, he served them honorably. Served them most honorably. Congressman Cummings, if you haven't seen it yet, he did a speech. It was a powerful speech, and I urge you to Google it. His first speech on the House floor. Now, from the moment he started his job, he motivated the masses with his stirring delivery. His first House speech, and this is a picture, he recited a poem. He said it was a very simple poem that he lived by, and it was called God's Minute. And it went something like this. I only have a minute, 60 seconds in it. Forced on me, I did not choose it, but I know I must use it. Give account if I abuse it, and suffer if I lose it. I only have a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. My God, my God. How powerful God's minute. He made the most of every moment. Most of every moment. I told you that Congressman Cummings was Baltimore's congressman. He represented them, but he also represented all of us. He gave each of us a voice, voice to the voiceless. He actually gave me a voice. That was me before the hair. A few years back, when President Obama got into the White House talking about change, I was geared up, ready to do the change, because I knew there needed to be a change in government. Joyce E. Megison told you about the rampant discrimination. Well, I had the pleasure to go to Congressman Cummings. I didn't know him, but I went along with some of my colleagues from the federal government. I had started an organization called the Coalition for Change, C4C, an advocacy group to address widespread discrimination in the federal government. So we got in the car, we traipsed on to Baltimore, and we met with the congressman. And actually, that was when I decided to join Toastmasters, because I was so excited. I was talking a mile a minute. So I said, I'm going to learn Toastmasters so I can slow down a bit. But nonetheless, he listened to my talk, and he could see the pain I was in. I was telling him about the widespread discrimination. So I was talking about that. And I was talking about not only the pain I was going through in others and how it was harming the public, but I also was talking about reforms, changes that could be made to the federal system that would benefit all Americans. And then I asked him, Congressman, will you be our champion? Will you lead our cause? And without pause, he said yes. He said yes. And the next thing I know, he was on the House floor introducing the reforms in a bill that I had gone forth with him about. And so I am celebrating because God used him. He was a man who knew his purpose. God put a purpose within him. So not only did he know his purpose, but he lived his purpose, and I thank God that he did. Now, over the weekend, I went to see the story of Harriet Tubman. Powerful, go see it. And the tragedy, the horror of slavery was depicted. But while I was sitting in the theater, one particular scene caught me. It was Harriet Tubman going through the field, trying to escape the Southern master. And she got to a point, brave as she was trying to figure out which way to go. She knew she wanted to go north, but you have to understand, we didn't have compasses at that time, no maps. She didn't know whether to go south or north, which direction, but she knew if she could find that North Star, she would be guided into freedom. So she looked up into the sky and saw that North Star, and right in that moment when they depicted that at the theater, and I'm sitting there eating my popcorn, I thought about Congressman Cummings. Because see, I remembered House Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying that he was the North Star of Congress. Because he wanted to guide us to a better future for America. A better future. In closing, I realized we had a great loss. We lost our North Star. Great loss, but yet I am grateful. I am grateful because God put within him a purpose. He knew his purpose and he lived his purpose. I am grateful because he passed laws and he passed wisdom along with those laws. I am grateful because when the doctors long ago had given him only 6 months to live, God gave him 25 more. So I rest in a peace and I understand that his shining deeds will earn him a place, and he is, as he says, dancing with the angels.
I had to get myself together for that time. Tanya, that was awesome. But I tell you, wow, that was so beautiful. Representative Cummings would be so honored that you said that. Thank you so much for sharing.
And